Do you ever have a knife or an object that gets stuck in your head and you think to yourself, you know what, I don't need that. And then somehow your brain just pushes you to think about it a little bit more. And you're like, you know, I don't need that, but I want that. And then slowly over time, you decide, you know what, I probably will buy that. And then some point you're like, okay, fine, let's just buy it. Let's get it over with. Well, that's what happened with this knife. This is a CRKT Mnandi, and it has the new style nail nick. And one of the reasons I'm going to do a video on this knife, even though there's already a video up of Dan's Mnandi, which he lent me for reviews, because the nail nick is different. The insert on this knife is snakewood. My understanding is that snakewood is going to be discontinued as an insert. I would note that snakewood is actually the inside of another. It's not. There's no tree called snakewood. It's the core of another tree. I forget what the tree is, but the issue with snakewood is it's very hard to get large pieces of snakewood because it's the inner core of another tree. So you have to have a very, very big tree to get any sort of useful pieces for something like this, decoration or handle scales on a knife. The insert is absolutely perfectly smooth. It has a great deal of character and detail to it. It complements this pivot pin or the pivot screw very well. And you know, this knife has the new pocket clip that doesn't have a screw. The screw is on this side. It's extraordinary. This is the best pocket clip on the market in terms of sculpted, 3D titanium pocket clips. It's phenomenal. It works really, really well. I don't like the new nail nick as much as the old nail nick, but after some trial and error, I figured out a way to get the knife open with one hand. Take and pinch the blade open like that, and then really use it as a nail nick. So use your thumbnail to ride into this little corner here, and it's pretty much foolproof. I've never missed. You can still do that, but it's a little slower, using your thumb's fat pad to get in there. Use your nail, it just opens every time. The fit and finish on this knife is superb. As with all Chris Reeve knives, the fit and finish is superb. And frankly, having handled a bunch of customs between my owning of this Zabenza and this knife, there's not a whole lot out there that's better in terms of fit and finish than a Chris Reeve. They're just masterfully made. There's no blade play, there's no wiggle. And while the pivot isn't snappy, you can't flip this knife open, it is absolutely glass smooth. There's no resistance here at all. It's just smooth, smooth, smooth through the entire arc. I really, really love this knife. And as far as like a gentleman's knife or a knife to take to the office, you're going to be hard pressed to beat this. It looks really good, and it looks like a pen when you have it clipped on. But if you're like me, you want to keep it a little protected, put it in this case. It's really, really nice. The slip case is great. In fact, I think they may have upgraded the leather, because this is a little stiffer than Dan's. Maybe it's just that mine is not quite as old as Dan's. But I have to say, having waited a couple years to get this knife, it's just something I never went out of my brain. I love this knife. I love, love, love this knife. And it's hard to find a knife that does exactly what the Mnandi does, as well as the Mnandi does it. The steel is S35VN. That's another one of the upgraded features. And it's superbly ground. It is razor sharp. I mean, it came off and it shaves hair. It's amazing. It's really, really nice. I have used this knife quite a bit, and it's still, everything is still like locked up nice, and it's hard to get hair on there, but you can see that there is stuff on there. The hair on my arm came off relatively easily. Let me give you a close-up of just how awesome the wood inlay is. Beautiful, beautiful inlay. A couple things that I would say if I was advising Chris Reeve. I'd like to see some different woods in these inlays. I mean, they keep going back to the same 5 or 6 woods. It'd be really nice to see some like Claro walnut in here. That would be really awesome. I think that if they did some Purple Heart, it would look good. I also think that they need to do some like olive or bird's eye maple, and if you could get some koa wood, that would be great. The one thing that I would say that would be just an absolute masterstroke for these knives, there are some ancient reclaimed wood species that are extremely expensive, and they're available in very small quantities that have reflective qualities that no living species has. And a lot of them are stuff that's dredged up from bogs, and they just look incredible. So if I was CRKT, or if I was CRK, I would be going to look for those species of wood, because they would give this knife such a distinctive character that you can't get in modern wood. And because the inlay doesn't have to be giant, you could get enough to make a bunch of knives, and it wouldn't be something that was like overly cost prohibitive. I mean, obviously it would be expensive. It might be the price of like the mammoth ivory versions, but boy, it would be really beautiful. As it is, I love the snakewood, and this is my favorite of the knife. The box elder was a second choice, but ultimately when I looked at it, I liked this one a little bit better, and then I later learned that it was being discontinued, so I was kind of happy for that. But no video or no review of this one. You already have a review of this one up on the website. I might post something on All Outdoor or Gear Junkie about the difference in the nail nick, but this is one hell